Ayana, you can get us started with the first question.
Okay. Hi, it's Ayana here, pronounce she, her, hers. So my question to you is, with being secretary, it is an executive board position. However, your board responsibilities may not be as shown as other like board members' responsibilities and like their programs and whatnot. So one, how are you going to maintain face to board member or to general members, because you are going to be more like in the background, more so in the spotlight.
Oh,
if
okay.
that makes sense.
So what I want to do in particular with wanting to give back to like the fusion community is like, while I may not be like a face, I would say that I'd like to make the newsletters more than just saying like what's happening fusion right now. I would like to implement like something along the lines of like maybe just like a fact of like fusion's past, so that future members that like come in new could find something, could connect closely with like the history of fusion. So I think that's like the newsletter is going to be one of the ways in which I like present myself as a secretary for fusion.
Okay, thank you.
My turn?
Yeah, go ahead.
Cool. I'll put it in chat. But what challenges are you expecting for in like the club secretary position?
I mean, what I highlighted in my platform is like communication is definitely like the biggest thing when it comes to any board. I feel like at first it's gonna be hard because it's a new board. It's hard to like see everyone's like work ethic and whatnot. But I think that's gonna be like one of the biggest things at first. But later on, I feel like it should smooth out pretty nicely. Yeah.
Hi, it's me, Austin. He, him, his. So I know you have a good background to support you being a secretary, being an intern, and being a part of ZocCon. But what it like? Can you name like the change you want to make is that you want to facilitate communication in board. But can you name an example or a few of you actually doing that before?
So like an example of me like helping with
Facilitating communication, yes. In like a position of power.
In a position of power. I mean, let's see. I would say back in high school when it came to I made basically the anime club at my high school, I guess. And a lot of communication was needed in order to like make the club a thing, you know? So I would say that that's one of the ways I was able to help facilitate communication.
Okay, thank you.
Amanda?
Yeah, go ahead, Amanda.
Hi. So my question was about Voltaire. So when you implement this, actually, let me back up again. First of all, I love your speech. Okay, moving forward again. Yeah. How would you plan on regulating something that is anonymously posted? Because like in case somebody puts something like inappropriate or maybe something that shouldn't be said, like in a big sphere. So how do you plan on regulating that?
So Voltaire in particular, I'm still on the fence about making it as part of general members, but I feel like in like a board setting, just between board members, it should be fine. I consider that all the board members that get nominated will be in a position in which they'd be mature enough not to like to do such thing. So that's where I stand on that. With general members, it's kind of different, in my opinion. I think it should like something. I don't think Voltaire would be like the best in that situation.
Okay, thank you.
Is it me? Oh, no, it's Elise.
Okay, Elise, did you have a question? Okay, we can skip you. Alfredo's next. Go ahead.
I put in the chat. So are you still participating in ZocCon as executive member? And if so, how will you manage both clubs?
I see. So throughout my 4 years here, I've made it a thing to make sure I've done enough so that in my last year I could only I'm only taking 12 to 13 units, and that's already been I've already planned it as such. So I will have less schoolwork during that time. I would say that there's kind of an overlap between both, I would say, and I feel like I would love to do both, and I feel like I could put the time and effort into both with uh, how much what is that called? How, I have a lot of spirit to do it, so I feel like I will manage.
Okay, thank you.
Austin.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Yeah, sorry, I'm back at it again.
That's all good.
How would you go about facilitating conflict between board members?
When it comes to conflict between board members, I would like to know both sides of the story first of all. I feel like just any kind of conflict that like doesn't get resolved just affects the board as a whole. So I would definitely try to see both perspectives and probably try to meet with both them in like a one-on-one setting so that they could talk out their problems. That's probably how I would deal with it.
Thank you.
Okay, cool. So this one's pretty short. So my question for you, Kevin, is what ideas do you have for expanding alumni relations?
Sorry, I couldn't get the last part.
Oh, do you have any ideas for expanding alumni relations or like sort of like their influence or part in the club?
I would just say that I feel like the alumni relations have been really good. I mean, alumni panel is like one of my favorite panels because it's all about like learning from people who have been in fusion and whatnot. I would just say to invite them to more things would be my initiative, like whether it be like social events or whatnot. Just give them a way to like still be part of fusion, but at the same time doesn't have to necessarily be in a professional setting, because I feel like that's where alumni panel comes into play.
Thank you.
Hello, it's Bien. Pronouns he, him, his. You said you wanted to like expand Discord with Voltaire and stuff, but since Discord is just kind of a temporary solution to like communicating because of the COVID-19, how will you keep it like alive when everything goes back to normal and we're meeting in person again?
I feel like one of the greatest things that have came out from the Fusion Discord, in my opinion, is like the gaming aspect and how much like community was made from it. Granted, like once COVID-19 goes through and whatnot, it will definitely be more like in person. But I would still like to keep alive those memories made from like gaming or whatnot, even if it's just like a Fusion Saturday or something that's just like gaming. I'd like to help keep that alive.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, Ayana, you had a question?
Yes. Hi again. Xavier kind of took my question.
My bad.
No, it's okay. Maybe just to like expand upon Xavier's question. So as secretary, you do serve as kind of like a liaison between alumni and general members. So besides alumni panel, what other ideas do you have to implement like that bridge, like to kind of like close that bridge between or gap? Oh my God, that gap between alumni and general members.
I feel good question. I feel like one of the biggest hurdles when it comes to like being an alumni and whatnot is like getting the time in order to just. So I feel like expanding upon the idea of having them come to more social events. I feel like it'd be better if we had specific like Fusion Fridays or whatnot planned around alumni, so that alumni have more of a chance to like still come back to Fusion and see how the club is doing, regardless of like the professional setting. So more social, I would say, like a social gathering with alumni.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, we have two more questions from Regina and Austin.
Okay. Hello, I'm Regina, she, her, hers. My question is to critique the current position holder.
I would say that the current position holder is great when it comes to her position as secretary. I would say that I feel like there could have been more done when it comes to the newsletter. Granted, I love the newsletter as much as like next guy, but I feel like there's something, to me at least, it feels like there's like there could be more implemented into it rather than just saying what's happening with Fusion. So that's where like I come in with the idea of like maybe just like a little fact about like Fusion's past and whatnot, whether it be like funny, more like cultural or whatnot, just little things like that.
Mm.
But you're
Okay.
good.
Thank you.
Okay, I'm sorry for the questions, but
Okay.
one more. So your ideas regarding Discord and the alumni relations event seem to involve IVP and social director a lot. So how would you work with them in the future to like facilitate these meetings?
I mean, like just like anything that's like planned, I would work around their schedule and my schedule to see which like a time slot in which both we are both available to like discuss such things. Granted, we have more time considering of the situation right now, but yeah, I feel like it's just planning a beforehand and implementing it as soon as or whenever it seems to fit. It's a lot of time management, especially considering that alumni are usually like in the workforce. But I feel like having at least one big alumni social event would suffice, or like will definitely be like a boost to like Fusion.
Okay,